Finally, a new milestone this week. Welcome to week 20 of me being a YouTube content creator. I now have 23 videos published. I have 6 shorts. For last week, I got 256 views. I got 6 likes and no dislikes. I gained 3 new subscribers and I have 21.6 watch hours. I'm so excited this week. This week, I reached my 100th subscriber. So I actually ended the week with 101 subscribers. And I recognize that most of these subscribers are probably friends and family and people driven to my channel by my husband. He is my number one supporter and my one-man show marketing team, really. But everywhere we go, every time we go out, he is telling people about my channel. It's a little bit embarrassing, but people are subscribing. And I know that also some of those subscribers were gained naturally through the algorithm, through, YouTube's natural pushing my content to people. So it's exciting to have finally reached that milestone. This week was a little bit challenging as we were having our kitchen painted and we had contractors in the house from very early in the morning to late in the evening. And so it was really hard for me to be able to get any kind of footage. I did try to get some footage outside in the garden, but really past that, it was kind of hard to get any other kind of footage around the house for YouTube and for my homesteading channel. I was able to focus on editing a lot because I was kind of stuck in my office since they were out in the kitchen and living room area. And so I did spend a lot of time working on my video and editing it. And I'm really happy with the final result because I put so much time and attention into it just because I had the time to do it. For research this week, I really didn't focus a lot on researching anything for my YouTube channel or even my homesteading channel. I really put a lot of work into just editing this week because it's the way that I'm trying to enhance my videos. I really want to take the time to be more creative and be more fun with them. And so I put a lot of time into editing videos this week, or just the one video. So for video editing this week, I did spend, like I said, I spent a lot of time focusing on editing my potato harvest video. And my potato harvest was very weak. It was nowhere near what it should have been. And so was it going to be an interesting video for people to see a failed harvest from this beginner? And again, because I'm focusing on a journey-driven story, I really wanted to focus on the story, not so much the failed potato harvest. And so I really took the time to bring in different musics for different part of the video. So I started off with kind of intense music in the beginning for my hook. And then I had kind of a light music going into explaining like what my hopes were for the harvest and what my expectations were for the harvest. And then as I was doing the harvest, I transitioned to really sad music because it was a really sad harvest. And then after that, when I went into the reflections and what could I change and what could I do better, I changed back to the more upbeat kind of background music. And so really focusing on the cinematic aspect of making my videos, which is the actual footage, moving the camera around and getting good footage. Now I'm focusing a lot on that background music that's going to help enhance the storytelling. For scripting on this video, I also spent a lot of time trying to get the story that I was trying to portray out. So I wasn't trying to show the actual harvest of the potatoes. I was showing kind of or wanting to tell throughout my story was the hopes and dreams that I had on this potato harvest, And so I started off talking about how potatoes were my son's favorite foods and how I was expecting this large harvest to put these beautiful meals on the table that my son will enjoy, my husband's and my son's, and then, devastation of the sad harvest. And so that storyline, I put a lot of time into scripting it so that I can bring viewers along to starting off with the high hopes, the big dreams, the going into the really sad harvest, the devastation of it, and then into, well, what do I do now? Kind of thing. And so that I spent a lot of time really focusing on that. And so this video took all week for me to edit because I was really focusing on getting that story across. So for this week, I recorded 170 clips and it's really just catching up on stuff in the garden. And most of it was done on the weekend where I was really trying to get a lot of garden footage because my next video is really trying to be more intentional in my garden. And that's kind of like learning from the potato harvest mistakes that I had done. Did I have to spend any money on my YouTube channel this week? no, I did not have to spend any money. And I actually don't see any spend in the foreseeable future because I'm really going to focus on trying to use what I have. All right, let's talk about my schedule. So for my schedule, I have my workouts scheduled to be done Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during my lunch hours. Monday was Memorial Day holiday. Since I didn't work, I didn't have a lunch. I did not do my workout. And is there an excuse? Not really. I should have still done my workout. But I was coming off of the trip from Houston, and I was coming off of the big party we had during the Memorial weekend. And then on Sunday, I had to clean out every single thing from my cabinets because they were going to paint my kitchen cabinets. And so I was just exhausted. So Monday, I just wanted to take a rest day and I took it. But for the rest of the week, I did do my strength training on Tuesday. I did it on Thursday. And then I did it on Saturday instead. So I just kind of pushed everything over later down the week. For my YouTube task, I did sign up to do certain editing items and recording items throughout the week. And I was able to keep up with all of them, even with the contractors in place. And so I did film my recap. No, I did not. I did not film my recap on Monday because I was tired. I filmed it on Tuesday. And so basically everything kind of got pushed a day over because I really did just take Monday as a rest day all across the board because I was exhausted from the trip to Houston and then the big party on Saturday and then cleaning everything out of my kitchen for the contractors to show up on Monday and start work. So I'm trying to think about my schedule for YouTube last week, and I do think I did stick to mostly everything because all I did was push it over a day. And so all of my tasks were done, even though it feels like they weren't. It was just pushed over a day. And I really, because I focused so much time on editing that video, I'm looking at everything that I did and I had scheduled, and I did it. And so it just feels like I didn't do it because I spent so much time focusing on really putting together that potato harvest video, and I'm really proud of it. The only other thing that I have on my calendar is going to be my scheduled dinners, and because I didn't have a kitchen to cook in, I didn't schedule any dinners. And so we ate out the whole week, which was really bad. Let's talk about accomplishments this week. I feel that I am getting better at editing and producing a video that's really cinematic and that's really telling the story behind the scenes of what I'm doing on this homesteading journey. So I think an accomplishment is really improving that storytelling style and that cinematic aspect of my videos. They're slowly starting to become what I want my channel to be about. And so I think that's an accomplishment that I want to list. For emotions and physical well-being this week. So emotionally, it was not low, it was not high, it was kind of just in the middle. I was really just razor focused on this storytelling of the potato harvest. And I really wanted to make sure that I was getting better at the storytelling side of things. So I really spent a lot of time focusing on that storytelling, just sitting down and writing things out and racing it and writing it again, and really trying to get very detailed in the story that I was trying to say, and not detailed like minutia detail, but detailed in the senses, the sight, the smell, the sound, everything about what's happening, and really trying to portray that picture of what's in my heart, what's in my mind to my viewers, so that what they're seeing isn't just somebody harvesting potatoes, but it's somebody who has these big hopes and dreams in this potato harvest. And so I think I'm finally getting to where I'm enjoying the creativity side of it, and I'm really just letting myself have fun. And so emotionally that makes me happy. And so while it was kind of stressful trying to get to that point, at the end of the day, when I was done with it, I was really happy. Physically this week, really bad. And mostly it's because of what we've been eating. So we haven't had a home cooked meal in 7 days, and it has been really taking a toll on all of our body. And so we just really struggled physically eating poor food. And even when, I tried to select some healthier option. I try to do more salads were the places that we went to. It still just felt so heavy and so unhealthy. And so I'm really excited to finally get back to having my kitchen and making some home cooked meals. Okay, let's talk about goals. This week I added 2 new goals, but let's start with the old ones and we'll move into the new ones. The first one is my daily calendar setup. So I have my happy planner, and on Sunday night or Monday morning, I try to put in when I'm going to do my strength training exercises, all my YouTube activities that I'm going to do for the week, and then what my dinners are going to be. And that's going to be to help that decision fatigue during the week so that I'm not trying to figure out what am I going to cook. And so because our kitchen was down the whole week, it was supposed to be for 3 days, but it was down the whole week. Um, I didn't schedule any dinners. And so we ate out the whole week. I did schedule in my YouTube tasks, which I did get those done. And then I did schedule in my strength training, but I ended up pushing all of that one day over. And the tasks that I had to do on Tuesday for YouTube, I also pushed those over. So basically this week, even though I wrote everything into my happy planner to start everything on a Monday, I did it, but I just pushed everything over. My second goal is my journaling, and I have been doing my journaling regularly because I've been doing my Bible studies regularly. But I haven't really been putting a lot of content ideas into Notion like I have, because usually they did come from my journaling. And I think it's because I'm still rushing in the morning. And so in the morning, I've been having to wake up and get in to work an hour earlier than normal because we're having to meet with the team in India. And so I'm listening to my Bible study, and then immediately after, I'm just rushing again to get my journal done so that I don't forget it. And so I don't think I'm taking the time to really think through and put good content ideas into my journal, which I can then put into Notion, which I can then use on my channel. So maybe after all these early morning calls ends, things will be better. But I am journaling. It's just I'm not getting out of the journaling what I originally wanted to get out of it. Goal number 3 is to do my recaps on Monday. And again, this week, because I was so burnt out from the trip to Houston and then all the activities that we had over the weekend, on Monday, I didn't do the recap. I just pushed it a day and did it on Tuesday. My fourth goal is to put my ideas into Notion as soon as I think of them. And again, I haven't really been thinking of anything for Notion, but I have been immediately putting in things that I want to include in my recap into Notion. And so that's continuing to work, but I've kind of lulled as far as my homesteading channel and content for that. The fifth goal that I have decided to add is really a physical one, and it's because I have gained weight over the last couple of months and it have not gone down. And so I really need to get back on track. And so I've decided to start tracking all my food in my Fitness Pal again. And the only reason I'm using my Fitness Pal is because it's already renewed at the beginning of the year and I've already paid for it. So I'm going to continue to use it. I know there's a lot of good recommendations out there, but I'm just going to finish off this year with my Fitness Pal. And so that's going to be my next goal because I really do need to get back on track. And my sixth goal is YouTube content related, and it is to make a short at least every other week. And I'm not doing a weekly short because I don't know that I can push myself to make one every week. Depending on the content that I'm making, sometimes the content that I'm making doesn't, facilitate for a short easily. And so I've decided that at least every other week to try to do a short. And so this week I did create a short, and I did it on my potato harvest, which will come out the same week as my potato harvest video. Do I have any milestones for this week? I absolutely do. I reached 100 subscribers this week. I actually ended the week with 101 subscribers. And so that is a huge milestone for me. I'm so happy for it. My friend, that is going to wrap up week 20 of being a YouTube content creator. I want to thank you for the privilege of your time, and I hope to see you again next week.